Anyway, I was praying. Long story short, God has been telling me, He's like, man, you need to get up early, be more productive with your day, and I'm like, all right. I don't really want to. I like to stay up and watch people crashing and driving and running simulations on BeamNG because that's so funny. But anyway, I got a call coming in. Decline. Anyway, um, we were just praying a second ago, a couple of brothers and I and whatnot, and got a couple prayer requests. Boom. I do it by name, and then I let my heart, my mind, whatever I know of the situation, I let that speak for them. So if I'm talking to my brother, he's like, oh, my family, this, that he has this whole list of reasons. I'll put his name down, and then whatever we've talked to, it holds me accountable as far as building a relationship with the person. Paul says, I've become all things to all men. And that in hopes that I might save a few. Anyway, out of the prayer, my brother, two brothers and I we were praying, brother in Christ. We were praying, and in his prayer, when it was his turn to pray, he said, you don't call us to be Methodist. You don't call us to be Pentecostal. You don't call us to be Baptist. You call us to be holy. Holy is the standard. And then we're sitting there thinking, we're like, man, we're using this Christianese. We're using this language that we throw around because we understand the word. Some of us understand the word, but we don't actually understand what they mean. And I was thinking, I knew what salt of the earth is. Salt is a way of preserving things. So I can imagine that like salt is, oh, you're going to preserve the goodness of the world, and you'll preserve. God told me. All right, so I'm going to break down in 3 situations. Years and years and years ago, my grandma, her Mima and Peepaw, she told me that just talking, regular conversation, she was like, what'd she say? Like when people have a foul mouth, she'll go around, she'll be like, please don't speak like that around me. In conversation, didn't think anything of it, and I'll be like, I agree, watch your mouth. I don't want to hear that, I have people around me, don't want to hear that, this, whatever. Think about it, go away. Don't think about it and just go away. And then God reminded me of it today, and I'm like, huh, interesting. Anyway, and then there's another time, yesterday, someone at my works, I have a patch on my hold on. So I got a patch on my bib. I work in a giant fridge. Anyway, on my bib, it says, y'all need Jesus. Everybody need Jesus. Anyway, people specifically there need Jesus. Anyway, so with that being said, I walk around with the patch, and it stands out. It is like right here. And this dude yesterday, I went outside because I'm trying to warm up. Not really warm outside, I don't know the case. But I go out there, and the guy out there, he was like, oh, what's up, Jesus? How are you doing? I get where he was at, but I had to tell him, like, I don't ever want to hear that leave your face again. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I ought to pop this dude in the mouth. Like, we ain't doing any of that. I didn't. We just left it at that. He was like, okay, my bad. Okay, cool. And then there was another time where I was in a conversation with one of my brothers. He's a Pentecostal, and there's nothing wrong with that specifically, but again, he calls us to be holy, not a denomination. If you're pushing your denomination very hard, then there's a hard issue. You know what I mean? Anyway, or Baptist, Baptists have it right. This. You can still be gossiping. You ain't holy, bro. You think you all this and that. You ain't that. Holy is the standard. If you're not up to the standard, where do you sit? God says if you're not for God, you are an enemy of God. Anyway, so with that being said, my brother, God was telling me, and I was like, man, I was thinking of Pentecostal, and I was thinking back to a conversation that I had with him, and I was like, remember that time where I gave him my stance on speaking in tongues, and I told him this is why I'm not going to be going to your church again, and he was like, and he answered, he was like, yeah, I remember the conversation. I was like, yeah, thinking back at it, now he doesn't really do that around me. When he's on his own, when he's at whatever he's going to do at church, by all means, he's going to do it at church. Let's hope he's living the holy life. whatever he's going to do at church, he's going to do. But I know around me, because I had addressed it, he no longer goes out and he will, but he'll stop and like correct himself. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? Like you want to do it, his flesh wants to do it, but then he'll stop because he knows someone else's stance on it. Right? So anyway, that is what the salt of the earth is. He said, you are the salt of the earth. But if salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. Lukewarm. Anyway, I'll spew thee out of my mouth. And then it says, you are a light to the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So, salt of the earth, salt of the light. When I come with God, in Joshua 1:9 it says, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, because the Lord your God goes with you. I'm paraphrasing, more or less that's the gist of it. I will go with you, don't be afraid. Good gosh, my hair is a mess. Ain't nobody tell me my hair like this. Quit your crying, come here. Anyway, so with all that being said, salt of the earth, that is what it looks like. When you come up, you say, I don't want to hear that leave your mouth again. I don't like it when you do that. This. And then you have to not only contend for the faith, stand your ground, stand firm on the word and what the word says, but you have to stand up and push the forces back. Salt of the earth, you preserve the goodness that is here. You have a responsibility. Walk in it. He says, if God is for you, who could be against you? 1,000 fall at your left, 10,000 at your right. God says he has your back. Persecution is like you're signing on to that when you sign on to Jesus. You know, you're like, I don't really know if I want to, but I'll do it anyways. And Jesus is like, oh, that's cool. We'd love to have you. By the way, they don't like you. And we're like, I didn't sign up for that, but you know, it's cool. Suffer for God. I'll do that. I guess I don't want to. And then it says, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. Why do we hide the light? Why do we not want to be bold for Christ? He died for you in public. Why do you live for him in secret?